Hey, Jeff here. So I was going to do a quick video to enter this contest that MetalMickey has started a couple days ago. He basically just went over 1,000 subscribers, so he's having 1,000 subscribers contest. And to enter, of course, you have to subscribe, and which I've been a subscriber of his channel for who knows how long, a couple years probably. He was actually one of the earlier ones that I discovered, mainly because, you know, us metal guys stick around, but I believe I discovered him early on in my days in the VC. And so he's got 5 questions here that we have to show in a video. So let's get going. Number 1, show the last album you listened to. Ultimatum, The Mechanics of Perilous Times. I just listened to this today because it just arrived today. So I haven't even shown it in a video yet. There it is. That'll be coming up again in a second. Anyway, so yes, this arrived in the mail today. This is one of the ones that I mentioned in a previous video that I've been waiting for. One of the limited run vinyl. Actually, it was the Rocks 100, only 100 released. So yes, this is the last album that I listened to earlier today. I'm gonna leave that here for now. And then the second part is listen album you haven't listened to in 3 years. Now, I got back into buying vinyl a little over 3 years ago, so I had to kind of think back, well, what have I not listened to? Because, you know, I've listened to a lot of things multiple times, and I think that this is probably going to qualify because I got this over 3 years ago, and I don't recall ever listening to it more than the one time when I first got it. Quiet Riot Live Riot 83. It was a quick purchase, inexpensive, and it's basically, I think, a radio broadcast or something, and it was, you know, it was okay, but it wasn't something I'm going to have played a lot. And so I don't think I've ever listened again to this since I initially did, and so now I'm going to have to play this, I guess, to remedy that. But for now, it qualifies as over 3 years. Next one, show an album you've never shown before. Now, hey, I can do this because, oh, wait a minute, I just showed it a minute ago, so I guess I have shown it. I'm going to show this, Jackson Browne, Late for the Sky. So, story behind this. A little over 3 years ago, when I first got into buying records, I entered a contest at a local record store to win this, and my name was drawn. And as you can see, I have actually never opened it because I wasn't sure if I would just resell it. I'm not a big Jackson Browne fan. I did recently get one of his albums the other day that I showed in a video, and I might end up opening this one to play it. But this is the reissue that came out, and they were giving it away. I also got like a little tote bag with it. So this is actually one that I have never shown on the channel because I got it before I even started the channel, and most everything I've shown on the channel has either been collections or things that I had recently gotten since starting the channel a couple months after that record came in. And I got a second one that qualifies, and that's the Philadelphia Tell the Truth, because just like the Ultimatum, this one came in today, so I have yet to show this. So this and Jackson Browne I've never showed on the channel before. I did show the original version of this, but this is the reissue that just came in the mail today. There, got it covered twice as much. Now, because he is a Pisces, he wanted to see a fish or a boat. So, sticking with vinyl, and similar to what he showed, a ship, I got a ghost ship. That's a giant boat. But to make it a little more official with the fish, I do have a CD that I actually had right behind me called 5 Loaves and 3 Fish. And if you can see that glare, there are some fish there on the bottom. So there's literally fish. Up next, show an album with a left-handed player on it. Tourniquet, Ted Kirkpatrick, the drummer. You can't really tell in here, but the drummer of Tourniquet is a left-handed drummer. There is a photo in the reissue of the CD that I just got the other day that shows him playing, but even it is not, unless you really scrutinize, it's really kind of hard to tell it's left-handed. You know, it just kind of, it's a big drum set and it's him, but trust me, he is a left-handed player and a great one at that. A little story behind this, which I've told before. This is their first album, and back when this came out in, what was it, 90, 91? I had a magazine, maybe it was 90. I had a magazine that I was doing, and I reviewed this, and I just ranted and raved on Ted's drumming. I just said he was one of the best drummers. Because in the Christian market at the time, when we were listening to this, he was just stellar on drums, and I just ranted and raved a little bit about how great he was, and the magazine went out to a bunch of different people, and lo and behold, at one point it got into his hands, and one day I got a phone call. This is back before the internet. Somehow he tracked me down. I might have had my phone number in the magazine, but he tracked me down and called me and told me how much he appreciated the review and what I said about him playing drums. So that was kind of my little story there. And then the last is, what reason would you recommend my channel? Mickey says. So mainly because he shows a lot of metal, and if you're into metal of all types, I mean, he goes into, you know, from everything from traditional to, you know, some more of the extreme. So it's just metal, and it's a lot of metal. That's why I'm there, and that's why I watch. And so if you're a fan of metal, I would say go check out MetalMickey. It's right in the name. You have to check it out. And so anyway, he's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of information, and he's overseas, so he gets some things that, you know, he shows some things that maybe we don't have access to as easily here in the U.S. And then the second part is, what reason might put someone off from his channel? I have very hard time figuring negatives on people. Some people, you know, I may say, well, you know, their presentation is weak, or, you know, their camera, you start getting really nitpicky if you start looking at like that. I look at people for their content. Their personality helps, but I'm not usually over critical over somebody. I like watching what they show and how they show it, and none of that stuff really matters. So I would say I have a hard time saying what would put someone off. You know, there has been some drama with Mickey's channel. He's brought it up, so maybe that might be a turnoff to somebody. You know, he's straightforward, blunt. You know, maybe that's a put off to somebody. You know, occasional little bit of foul language. I don't know. It's none of that affects me. But if I had to start really getting nitpicky, you know, maybe some of that stuff would be, you know, put off to someone. I would hate to. I can't think of anything. It's just straightforward. Talk about metal. I love talk about metal. I mean, I've seen some people that I don't watch as much just because they're, you know, sometimes their styles, their talking, their language, things like that is sometimes it's just a little too much. I don't find MetalMickey to be that way. So I don't know. I'm just trying to be nitpicky at what might be the case. You know, maybe some of those things would be a turn off, but I wouldn't. So the question is, what reason might someone put off my channel? That might be reasons, but why would I tell somebody to not do it? I wouldn't. So check him out, MetalMickey. Links in the description. Congrats for over 1,000. I just realized that a week or two ago I made it to 500, so I am climbing a little bit above that, and I'm excited to see where this goes. Thanks for watching. See you later.